in. Now I took what I want, but you find that everything they've got, you step forwards to my shadow. You are follow in my path.
Hello and welcome to the Ladies' Room. Today my guest is Jonathan Glynn, who is the founding director of Wings Over Haiti. And 7 years ago, the earthquake in Haiti, you heard about the earthquake and you have a plane. What kind of a plane do you have?
A Cessna
Cessna?
172.
Do you get to fly it a lot?
I like to fly it.
You like to fly?
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, watching on the news, his heart just went out to these people that were devastated by the earthquake. And he just called a bunch of people, got a bunch of supplies, got in your plane, and took a lot of stuff down. And you were able to get into remote places that the Red Cross and other charities like that couldn't even go near. So that really got your heart, didn't it?
Yeah, I was lucky. I was flying down to Florida just to fly to Florida, and the earthquake hit, and the devastation was remarkable. And they couldn't accept jet loads of volunteers, international jets filled with volunteers and supplies into Port-au-Prince because the infrastructure couldn't handle it. They were sending them back.
Wow.
And then I was thinking, with my little teeny plane, I was thinking, wow, I've flown in the Bahamas. I know how to do unusual airstrips.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought, well, I think I can do this. And then I had a lot of time by the time I got down to Florida to find out if I could actually make it. In other words, whether I could stop for fuel. And I found that I could. I need to stop every 3 hours. It took about 18 hours of flying to get to Haiti.
From Florida?
No, from up here.
Oh, okay, because you had to
total,
come back
I had
here
to stop.
and gather medicine and food.
Yeah, I
and,
went twice.
Food,
Yeah.
clothing. I know one time you brought down a bunch of crutches, right? Because we had a person collecting crutches.
Well, I mean, after a while, we're bringing a lot of
stuff
down, not just in my plane.
Tents.
That's when we brought it down in shipping containers, and then eventually when the commercial airlines came back and were flying routes, we ended up building an organization called Wings Over Haiti.
Wings
and we
Over
did a
Haiti.
lot of stuff.
And how did you come upon Croix Bouquet and decide to start a school there?
So, Shad St. Louis, a Haitian American who was living in Middletown, New York, contacted me on Facebook when he had heard about what I was doing, and he said, well, can we collaborate in some way? And we didn't really know what we were doing. And then I had also been contacted by Melissa McMullen in Port Jefferson, a school teacher there, who wanted to transport backpacks that her kids put together to kids in Haiti.
That's great.
So then actually just through good fortune, the three of us ended up going down to Haiti, and Shad was born in Croix Bouquet, and this really kind of this poor town that's near 10 miles out of Port-au-Prince, and he grew up in poverty and managed to get out, and then he was a guidance counselor in Middletown when I met him. He had gotten a master's degree, and he wanted to go back home and give back, and we decided to start a school in his town. That's one of the formulas that we have with Wings Over Haiti, is to collaborate, have partnerships with communities where there's a Haitian who knows the environment well and knows how to, the best we can, to get around or make things happen. When that happened with Shad for our first school, and it's going to happen now with Magdalene Theodore, my partner for a new school in Ranquet.
And Ranquet actually had a school that's just kind of an empty shell now, right?
Right.
And so how many children did go to that school, and how long ago? How long has it been sitting empty?
Well, since the earthquake.
Since the earthquake,
Yeah.
so 7 years.
So, and it had 400 children, and the buildings are pretty much dilapidated and abandoned now. They ran out of funding resources just after the earthquake, didn't sustain the school.
Yeah.
And it was property that Magdalene Theodore, who's not my current partner now, to resuscitate that school, it's her father bought the land and deeded it, and gave it to Rankeet for the purposes of recreation and education. So Wings Over
That's
Haiti
cool.
now has the deed to it, and we own it as long as we use it for education and recreation.
Okay.
And 7 acres of land. So even before we start resuscitating this school, we're already about a year and a half, 2 years ahead of where I was when I started the first school.
Sure.
Yeah, because just having land and having that deeded properly is a big deal in Haiti.
Big deal. Yeah. So how much land in Croix Bouquet, how much land is that school on?
That one is 3 acres that we bought raw.
Didn't you take a mortgage to buy that land?
No.
You did something, though.
I did use a lot of my own money, but the majority of the money that paid for that land and consequently the buildings on the property were contributions. We had a big contribution from someone in this area. I mean, the community really got involved with what we were doing.
Yeah.
And it was a $50,000 donation.
That's great.
Really
That goes a
got
long way
long
in Haiti.
way.
Oh my God.
In fact, that's our whole goal for this fundraiser coming up, is just to raise $50,000 so we can start to set a school.
What is the average, not salary, but I mean, Haitians make about 80 cents a year or something like phenomenally
Not that
low.
bad. I mean, if they make 80 cents a day, it's pretty good. People that are able to work, the salaries would be around $100 a month.
Yeah, pennies
Our
a
school
day.
teachers who get paid well get
Comparatively
$140
speaking, yeah.
a month. One of the reasons why I do the charitable work in Haiti is not because I have fortunes, but because we can do it. Because once you buy the land and build the buildings, there's no taxes, and you really are supporting kids with $1 a day. You can feed them twice a day and educate them for $1 a day.
For
I mean,
$1
it
a
sounds like an
day.
ad on TV, but it's really what it is.
Do the children that go to the school that are getting 2 meals at the school, do they try to save some of the food to bring home to like their parents or anything like? Because I
It's
mean,
amazing that you said that, because with the first school, we actually lost one of our students, a really Jean Ali, his name was, and he was one of the smartest little kids. And he was bringing when we were only serving 1 meal a day, he brought his food home to his parents, and nobody knew about it. And he ended up starving to death.
Oh my God!
And we didn't know about it. So immediately, once that happened, we
started
started giving more food
village.
and nutrition, and realized that there's just not we can. We tried to work with the whole families. It became a community organization. Now, I don't know if that's going to be necessary with the school that we're starting now, which is in the mountains, and it's an agrarian community. So
they farm.
They're not starving. They just have no recreation or education at all. So they're kind of just destitute there.
Do they have like breadfruit trees and grapefruit trees and mango trees and things growing around? I mean,
Well, they could.
in the Dominican Republic, the government gives people fruit trees. They just give away trees to people.
It's a good idea, but the government of Haiti is pretty corrupt and pretty pathetic.
Very different.
So even though they share the
Same
same
island.
it's another world. Haiti is completely defoliated.
Because of charcoal.
yeah.
They cut down all the trees
Haiti's
for
a mess.
charcoal. It is a mess.
What we do is sustainable, and it helps children get out of a cycle of poverty, and hopefully they'll give back over time. And it gives them hope, and I've seen how happy it makes them and their families. So for me, it's very rewarding. Do I have real hope for the government of Haiti? Or not for the foreseeable future. Maybe one of these brilliant little kids will come, after I'm not around, come back and
from the first school, some of those 8 and 10-year-olds are now 17, 16, 17. Are any of them turning into like wanting to get into government or becoming teachers?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, we actually got our first school 7 years ago was preschool and then kindergarten. So our top students and the ones that are doing very well are now in 7th grade. So each
Okay,
year
so
we're
they're
adding
still very
another
young, yeah.
another grade with the hopes
It's
of
the
putting them in
Ross
college.
School of Haiti. Don't we wish?
Yeah, that would be
Oh
fun.
my God. So when were you last there?
I was there 3 months ago.
And how long
And
did you stay?
I stayed for 10 days, and we met with the community in Ranquit and found out that the number one thing that they would like to have happen in that community is to rebuild that school, even before medical care and food. So that was encouraging and made me really want to go there and, I mean, to make this happen, you know.
Now, one of the big things you did in Croix Bouquet was you actually dug a well, didn't you? And
Yeah, we
bring
dug well.
fresh water to because
Yeah,
they
and
had
filtered
lug
the water.
for like miles. Or
Right, they didn't have fresh water.
of water.
We had to really, it was Brave New World to that first school.
Sure. God
Water
bless
pump,
you.
water
It's
filtration,
amazing.
generators. Now there's a way to even have gas for cooking from manure that they set up. I mean, they're adding on and on and on.
Methane
and
or
yeah,
what?
something like that. I saw it when I was
Wow.
down there. I couldn't believe it.
Do
They
they
were
have?
so proud of
Do
it.
a few of the people have computers so they can Google
Well, they have
stuff?
computers. There's
Okay.
electricity. It's a dream. There's community gardens there. This is all from nothing.
From nothing.
And fruit trees. The kids don't want to leave the place because they have so much fun there. And I think the families, even though they still live in pretty raw conditions in Croix Bouquet, not still, they do, they're proud and happy for the kids.
They sweep the dirt. They sweep the dirt. There's dirt floors. There are little shacks with tin roofs. And there's, what, 2 little rooms? One room's a
They're
living
lucky
room.
to have two.
One
You're
room's
right.
a bedroom with
You've
like
been down
9
there.
beds shoved in it.
That's
And
right.
2
Wow.
families, you know.
It
so it'll
hasn't
be the
changed.
mother.
When were you last down there?
I spent a lot of time there in the 60s, but then I started going to the DR, which is a step above because the government actually was giving people little houses. But I spent a lot of time in Haiti. I used to bring down giant duffel bags full of clothing for the children, but I mean, that's about as, and all Jennifer's old, I used to collect toys and stuff from everybody, anything to bring to them, but it didn't even occur to me to start a school or, you know, teach them how to, I don't know, grow rice or whatever. Well, there was no water. It's very dry.
Well,
It was very dry where I was.
The way you
too.
just described it is the way it still is.
I know. Yeah.
So you just
They are
do-
so,
yeah.
so poor.
Yeah, it's
A
really
bar of soap there was a penny when I was there, and it was really important to them to get that bar of soap. So I used to bring down a bunch of soap, old toothbrushes. I collected people's old toothbrushes and ran them through the dishwasher to bring down. I mean, it was amazing. So I mean, God bless you for the work that you do. I'm just so amazed at
Well, it's a
that
small
you
step.
pulled it off in Croix Bouquet blew my mind because I was like, Jonathan, you have no idea what you're getting into. And you
Well, it
just
helped
went
to
for it
have,
and you did
to
it.
have Shad and his whole community
Yeah.
of friends that he grew up with. It's a very tight network of supportive people, and the Haitians are running the school now.
Yeah.
So I think the key is to really work with local people
Sure.
and get them in
them
it right from the
involved,
start.
yeah.
And that's what we plan to do in Ranquit for this new school. That's the key.
Yeah.
And you can grow really fast if you know, that's not the problem. The problem is getting the right people on the ground that you can
Yeah.
trust that are going to give their life to it.
Yeah.
And that's what we look for.
Yeah. And I think there's a little bit of a bad taste in people's mouths about that all of the money that was given when the earthquake happened. You know, there's all this fake news now and you don't know what to believe and you don't know who did what. But we do know the Haitian government is very corrupt.
Correct.
Very corrupt. So we do know that none of that money probably made it to Ranquit.
Ranquit, no.
Ranquit.
I mean, this is the thing. All the money, you know, I just ignored it. I put blinders on. Red Cross, all those organizations, I didn't really see much that they have accomplished over the past 7 years since the earthquake, but I know that our organization spends all its money on what we do.
Every dollar
and made
goes.
it happen. I
Every
mean,
dollar goes
what
to
we did
the Haitians.
with, say, $200,000 or $300,000 is what organizations that have millions did not do. I mean, there's not too many schools now. It's 140 kids, 23 teachers.
And you did start feeding the people in the village.
We feed, Yeah, and also at night there's employment training, technical training for the parents, and it worked. And so the thing is, we're not changing the world, but we're doing something that's concentrated. It's the best that we can do.
Every little bit
And
helps.
if we can do another school, and after this one, another school, and then hopefully someone else takes the ball. And our model works pretty well.
And you're, as you said, you're a step ahead with this because you do have the shell of the old school. Now, the shell there still usable? Is it?
Well, I just met with an architect last week about it, and I think it's better that we build
Take
new.
it down. Yeah.
The land is really good.
And is it clear for fields?
It's clear
for
already.
Fields and
We'd like to get a soccer field in and start training and get that organized because there is no recreation there. I mean, just someone donated 10 soccer balls just last week, and it was enough to say, okay, so this is a good start. We'll start that,
Yeah.
But really, this next school is going to roll out with just 35 kids, and once we get the infrastructure, settled and find the right people that we can count on, I mean, growing is not the problem. Right?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
you just plug it in and away
Are
you go.
there any local people there that are?
Well, there's a lot of
anyway
teachers from the
qualified
old
to teach?
school that are sitting around and just delighted, would like to get their jobs back.
Okay.
So
And
we
this
have
is a
to
little
go
more
through that.
up into the mountains, so it's a little cooler up there.
It's in the mountains. It's in an agricultural area, so food isn't. We don't think yet. I mean, we find the problems as we go. Like when Jean Ali died. I mean, that's a
so
bad
sad,
thing
yeah.
to discover. So then we say, oh, stop short, and so we have to feed the kids. This area, we'll see what the problems are, but it's in the mountains. It's about 6-hour drive out of Port-au-Prince.
Oh, that and
So
terrible
it's in the
roads.
mountains, and the roads are terrible. We were flying in with a small plane into a grass strip, and then driving for say another 15 miles to get to this area. So we have a lot of challenges for this. There are builders in the community, and 30 miles away there's a school for 1,000 kids. A pastor who's spent his life setting that up will be our advisor to have essentially a satellite school 30 miles
cool.
away. So I'm pretty confident that this will be a lot easier than the one we did near Port-au-Prince, which is not very safe. This is a safer area. It's going to be, it's more difficult to reach, but a lot easier to maintain. We don't need the security walls and the barbed wire, and we don't have to fear having everything stolen the minute you blink your eyes, and we don't have to worry about security. Quaddy-Bouquet is a very dangerous area.
Yeah.
So, for the past 7 years, we've had to deal with that. So I'm a little tired of that. So this opportunity is a little more palatable for me right
It's not a vacation.
now.
When you go down there, it's not a vacation.
No, but
that's for
it's
sure,
really
but it's
good work.
very
And people who
heartwarming.
donate to it, the money goes right to these kids.
Yeah.
And we set up a buddy program so that a number of families sponsor each individual kid, and they watch them grow. And the kids write them. And I mean, we've heard about these programs, but we really follow up on
there was a guy in
that.
Southampton that did it for a million years,
Yeah.
right? I forget his name, but we sponsored a kid in Haiti. Yeah. I forgot the question I was going to ask you, but let's talk about the benefit. You have a big benefit coming up, right?
June 17th at the Watermill Center.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
That'll be
And
interesting.
it's
So
from
what do you have
5:30
planned
to
for that?
7:30, and it's Hampton Artists for Haiti
Uh-huh.
is the theme. And Coco Myers, who is curating it, basically, we have to stop at some point. There's so many wonderful artists out here that it's just,
Yeah.
So apparently she has about 35 artists now. And the artists are going to be showing, and part of the proceeds go to Wings Over Haiti. And then the ticket sales, all the money from the tickets go to Wings Over Haiti. And Provisions in Sac Harbor is donating the food.
Oh, so healthy food.
Yeah, Alfredo Murat is going to be doing the entertainment.
Good, yeah.
And let's see what else. We're kind of putting it all together. We have a raffle with tons of local people that gave really generous gifts the wine. from
Silent auction
yeah,
kind of
silent
raffle?
auction, and a number of vineyards, including Channing Daughters, donated wine, and it's we have a poster. I guess I could take a shoot in on that one.
Oh, right, the poster.
Well, it's not really a poster. I mean, it's a flyer at this point.
I said, do you have a visual? Do you have a poster? And you were like, poster?
I mean, we're putting
there
it
it
together.
is.
We still have
There
time.
it is.
Is that it? Nope. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. But it's
Oh, it
very,
is
it's
it.
very pale. But that's it.
There you
Oh, there we go. Wings over Haiti. Flight again. Takes flight again. The event.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, those children. Look at that. Look at those faces. They are so precious. Oh, the children are our future. So
So that's June 17th in the Watermill Center. We're just putting up the website for ticket sales now. I guess by the time this airs, we can click on. Well, we also have a website, wingsoverhaiti.net, which ticket sales will be there, and also an explanation about our new project. That's wingsoverhaiti.net. A lot of people have different things, com and
right.
ours is
So
.net.
when are you going down again?
So after this benefit, hopefully we'll raise the $50,000, and then I'll go down. We have an architect already planning, and I'll be interviewing builders, and then we already started. We have 2 teachers down there, just sort of doing an ad hoc kind of.
Is the
organization.
guy that's 30 miles away, the pastor, going to send you some teachers and stuff?
Well, the teachers are more local. Those we have to, interview.
Well, they can't
The
travel.
pastor is going to help us get bids for the construction, and hopefully we'd like to work with the parents of some of the potential kids that will be in the new school that have trade capabilities. So I like to go slowly and kind of analyze what we can use locally first to help.
Do they have water there?
They do have water. I think I have
near
a feeling
river?
we have a river on the property.
Wow.
But I think we need to kind of look at that water.
Well, they throw all their garbage in the river, so.
Yeah, well, and we need to see how drinkable it is. It's a lot of preliminary studies we have to do to look at. We've seen where they live and how they live. It's pretty unpalatable.
Talk about bare bones.
Yeah, it's very similar to the
Worse
way you
than
described,
bare
and not much better than the way it was in Port-au-Prince. But we do have 7 acres, beautiful land, and it's in the mountains, and we hope to make a beautiful school there.
It's interesting that the mountains in Haiti have pine trees. You wouldn't expect that. Do you have pine trees where you are in Raquel?
No, I mean, there are a few, but I know what you're saying. Those are way up in the mountains.
Like Kenskoff and
Yeah, it's
Fiercy,
just incredible
Port-au-Prince,
mountain,
yeah.
incredibly beautiful
Very
forests
beautiful.
when they have them.
And the Haitian people are so proud. People, when they think of Haiti, they think of Port-au-Prince, where there's a zillion beggars.
Yeah.
But the minute you're outside of Port-au-Prince, the people are very proud. They're very French, especially the men. Very, very French, and the women tend to be taller and more elegant and soft-spoken and beautiful.
Well, I think Haitians are beautiful people.
Yeah.
And some of the kids are remarkably happy. I mean, living the way they do, they're happy. How they do it, and it just eludes me completely. But I guess because they're massive amounts of kids, and they're all laughing and.
Yeah, and they make toys out of nothing. They have sticks and stones,
crazy.
and they hit them, and they run after them, and.
They have a lot of freedom because all the parents kind of share the kids. I remember in the early stages, I had kids all over me, just grabbing on my legs, and I'm walking down what would be a city block length, and I'm thinking, I have to stop. I can't. I'm stealing these kids. Where they got to get home. And then it was explained to me that everybody watches out for everybody else's kids, so it wasn't a big deal. But I was petrified if I did. Where's the mother? Yeah.
Amazing.
Anyway.
So do you still fly down there in your Cessna, or do you take normal airlines and then travel out to the
Not
area?
normal airlines, and I think that my days of flying into Haiti are done. It's a little bit too risky for me. I'm 7 years older, and there's a high risk factor, and I don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, even though they have advisories now, when I was there, they didn't have fuel or there was no advisories, so it was, something I was really glad I was able to do, but.
But the 6-hour drive, though, and when we say the roads are bad bad.
Yeah, I
There's
have
dirt
not
and
driven the
there's
6
all
hours yet.
holes
I've-
everywhere.
It's another hour in a small plane from Port-au-Prince Airport to get to near Renki.
Let's
It's
see, so
called
you can do a
Peugeot.
puddle jump or two.
Peugeot, so another puddle jumper.
Uh-huh.
And so for the past 3 times that I've gone down there now, exploring this area and making the commitment that I have, I've flown in. And I probably will continue to keep flying in it. It's a grass strip and like up in the mountains.
Uh-huh.
And then we have a driver through the pasture. And my Haitian partner is very well connected, and this is where she was born. That's all part of the
Oh,
story.
okay.
You see, it's the same thing
Did
with
they
Chad.
get in
Chad
touch with
was
you
born.
because of
Yeah,
quite a
she had heard
bouquet?
of what I did, and
Yeah.
she contacted me and asked me if I wanted to rebuild the school. And first, I wasn't ready to do it. It took me about 1.5 years to decide to do it.
Well, God bless you. It's such great work, and it's very rewarding on a
It is rewarding.
on a heart
No.
and emotional level. Boy, so the benefit is June 10th?
17th.
June 17th.
At the Watermill.
Watermill Center, which is amazing just to go there and see that
That
property.
place is
And
something else.
so music, dancing, 5:30 to 8:30?
But yes, that's right.
5:30 to 8:30. Are the tickets like phenomenally expensive? I don't know if we're allowed to say prices on this show, but tickets in the $100
Well, I'll tell you,
range,
if people go to
$700 range?
wingsoverhaiti.net, I think that the tickets will have a variety of ranges for people as they can afford it.
Okay.
But I think the initially we're hoping to get $125.
Okay, that's affordable. Yeah. Remember
And
when
then,
they used to be like $750 for a benefit, and I'd be like, oh my God, what are they
yeah,
thinking?
right.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. So, well,
right,
God
well,
bless
thank you for
Jonathan
letting me be
Glynn,
here.
and next time you come, we hope to see video of the school and the children.
Sure.
And
My pleasure.
good luck. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers to you. Cheers to the project. Cheers to
Thanks
Haiti.
for having me.
And thank you, ladies, for joining us at the ladies' room. Remember, give yourself lots of room for love, room for fun, room to grow, and room to glow. And see if there's an opportunity to volunteer for Jonathan's charity, because looks like he can use some help. Yeah.
Thank you.
Breathe in. Now I took what I want, but you find